We've become a society where we talk openly about privilege, about having to check your privilege, your white privilege, your male privilege, and in colorism, which is a thing among Black and Asian communities, your light-skin privilege. But ever notice how those who actually have this privilege I'm about to talk about are loath to check it, and yet it's the monster privilege of them all. It's more people who have this trait have more privilege than being male, white, or light-skinned, and that's the privilege of beauty. This isn't an educational or debate video, so I'm not going to sit here and cite sources at you, but it's out there. Beautiful people make more money. Beautiful people are judged not guilty more often by juries. They award beautiful people more money in judgments. Beautiful people get treated better across the board everywhere they go. Two people of the same exact qualifications, with the same exact intellect, the same exact experience level and professional platform, they write the same quality books. The beautiful one is always going to be the one that gets all of the attention. And this is for a book where you don't even look at the author's face. In fact, forget equal, a beautiful mystic with a beautifully polished website. So we're not even just talking about human beauty here. Just every facet of appearance and beautifully polished YouTube videos is going to get a lot more attention than one who isn't considered physically attractive, even if the less physically attractive one really, really knows her shit. In fact, even if you deny it, you are going to place a lot more credibility, professional credibility, on what a beautiful person says than what an ugly person says. It's okay to admit that. It's human nature. We assume beautiful people are more virtuous. Yeah, virtuous. We assume beautiful people are telling the truth and not just complaining. We assume the best in every way when someone is physically pleasing to our eyes. So I think the reason why I want to talk about this is because there's this incident that happened that it won't leave me, and I can't stop thinking about this incident. So I'll share it, but I'm going to keep it really, really vague. Sorry, so I'm going to be vague booking. This person I accompanied to a place, and I was waiting outside in the parking lot when this person went in by herself. She was trying to get something done. She was in there for a very long time, and she came back out. She was incredibly upset. She was like angry, and then she got in the car, and she was like, "They're terrible in there. They treated her like crap, basically." And she kept getting no's everywhere she turned. It was no, no, no. Could she speak to the manager? No, no, no. She just couldn't get anywhere. She couldn't make heads or tails. She made no headway whatsoever. I'm like, that's weird. So I took all of her stuff, and I went in immediately after her. So I was talking to the same exact people. I went in right after her, and I got yes, yes, yes. And it was very easy. I got everything done. It got stamped, signed. Everything was done. I came back out, and I go, that was easy. I just saw everything's done. And she's like, what the fuck, right? And then as when we were driving home, she turned to me. She goes, the only reason that you were able to get through and I couldn't was because of beauty. They just thought you were pretty, and that's the only reason you got it. You always get things your way because you're pretty. I never get anything my way. I get no everywhere I go because I'm not pretty. I'm ugly. And she's not ugly, but that incident haunted me, and it really started making me think. You also really can't help noticing, right, that people that society would adjudicate as not being as physically attractive, they tend to be more pessimistic, and they always talk about how they get poor customer service, people are not as kind to them, it's harder for them to get things done. But then beautiful people or people that society deems physically attractive, and all of this is 100% subjective. It's all about whatever the society that person lives in adjudicates them as. So within that societal context, if they're considered beautiful, they generally tend to be really optimistic, upbeat people because that's their experience in life. People are kinder to them. They experience better customer service almost everywhere they go, and they think that people are nicer. People are more likely to hold doors for them. People are more likely to buy them free drinks, give them free stuff. And so they think, wow, this world is a beautiful, kind, happy world. Whereas people who've gone through the same exact society feeling physically unattractive don't have that same experience from their peers. And so they think the world is bad, the world is out to get them, and so they're going to have a more negative outlook. Optimism, thinking positively, law of attraction shit. Everyone knows whether you're talking about the mundane or the magical. That's power. Having that level of optimism and baseline confidence is extremely important for manifestation. And so when you have that baseline confidence, that baseline level of I can get whatever the hell I want, it's much easier for you to manifest. And if it's easier for you to manifest, it's just sort of like a snowball positive effect. And so that's a privilege that for some bizarre reason we don't really talk about. Here's the question, and I'd like to know how you would answer it. What is the most important key to success? I've kind of been kicking around that question, and here's something that's just so, I think, awful. The deeper I thought about it, I mean, like really, the more raw I tried to get, I felt like I couldn't escape the hard-hitting answer. The most important key to success is beauty. Fortunately, sort of, it doesn't necessarily have to be physical beauty in the face or your body. That's like 99% of it most of the time, but 100% of it is beauty of some kind. There must be physical attractiveness for the law of attraction to work. Glamour. Glamour magic is the most important key to success, which is really fascinating, right? Because that's exactly what Aleister Crowley said. The most important work of the magician is glamour. The illusion of physical beauty, and again, it doesn't have to be beauty in the face, although again, that's like 99% of it, but glamour is the key to success, and I hate that. Can there be success without glamour? And I'm using the word glamour in its slightly more esoteric sense. I think that's the question I've been struggling with. And the more I circle around that question and stay realistic, the more I think I realize that the answer is no. I'm not saying that to try to convince you. In fact, I'm saying that publicly in hopes you will convince me I'm wrong. Tell me it isn't the most beautiful witches who become the mouthpiece and representative of witchcraft. Tell me it isn't the most beautiful tarot readers with the beautifully polished social media platforms and the aesthetics, as it were, who are the most successful, who are now almost 100% representative of the craft. I see it as a lawyer. I see how there are times I've won a motion or swayed the jury in a way that leaves me wondering, was I really the one who argued the best case, or was it something about my physical stature? I really, really hate even having to say that out loud. I mean, the condition is inescapable. Even freaking like packaging of a tarot deck. The beauty of the packaging of a tarot deck is going to determine its marketability, whether you can sell out or not. Why do so many new tarot readers say they can't stand the original Rider-Waite-Smith tarot deck? Well, they say they don't like the artwork, even though we all acknowledge its exoteric significance. Put it another way, it's not beautiful. I've seen some incredibly fucking shallow tarot decks get all of the attention in the tarot world. Why? Because they're beautifully, beautifully produced, but fucking shallow as hell. Beauty is the one privilege that overrides all other privileges. Even if you're marginalized from a lower socioeconomic class, even if you're a have-not in every other way, if you've got beauty, you can rise to the top. Beauty is the most valuable of assets. The privilege of beauty overrides white privilege and male privilege. Of course, taking it back to current events in the community at the time of this recording, another reason I'm probably thinking about this is how the beauty and makeup industry is now bedfellows, apparently, with the new age alternative spirituality, holistic health, and modern witchcraft. Witchcraft and metaphysical arts is trending right now, and those interested in these topics who are the most beautiful or physically attractive are also the ones getting the most attention. So you see this whole witchy aesthetic discussion going round and round in the community because, again, it is all about glamour magic. This whole witchy aesthetic thing, the poised Instagram witchcraft, that's glamour magic, just a really shitty form of it. I think another reason this has been on my mind is because I'm aging. I'm a woman and I'm aging. I'm nearly 40 and I guess I can feel some of that power, the power of that glamour slipping away. I can track almost in real time the gradual loss of that privilege I feel like I once was able to enjoy because the attributes that gave me that privilege are slipping away. I think the privilege of beauty wasn't as prominent an issue to tackle in the spirituality and occult communities back in the heyday because, okay, don't make me say it. You tell me why it wasn't as big of an issue before. It's kind of like asking why isn't the privilege of beauty as visceral of an issue in the rocket science community or in nuclear physics. But with this new merger of the beauty industry, even on YouTube, the beauty gurus entering the spheres of holistic health, tarot, astrology, and esotericism, yeah, there is this new influx of really fucking beautiful people. So now the privilege of beauty is a front and center issue in modern witchcraft. I'm going to come to an end for this video now, but I don't actually know how to end this kind of nonsensical rambling of mine. I guess I have two things to say. First, it's important to acknowledge the privilege exists and the power of that privilege. Here's why. Because then you're more aware of how that a privilege affects you, and you can better overlook and override that privilege. You won't be deceived by glamour magic. And the second thing I want to say is this. Beauty is just a form of glamour magic. That's really what it is. And there are actually many ways to craft glamour. Only 99% of this privilege of beauty is about the physical appearance of somebody's face, and that's actually really good news. That means if you can't rely on physical beauty as your form of glamour, then you can aspire to be that 1% by really taking your craft to a different level, by thinking about glamour. Maybe it's a back to basics kind of season for the witches, back to basics to thinking about glamour magic.